We stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a
dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
The economy, the data that we've been getting for the last several weeks, months, quarters is better than expected. We're running about 3% GDP. Good on the consumer.
Just unbelievable. None of that is true. You know, I was looking at some numbers going back to 2008. And when you keep hearing me say the market's going to crash because the market's forward-looking, and you have to look forward to find that crash. Everybody else is looking to the rear. But most of us who are saying there's going to be a crash, we always look forward, and that's where you got to look. For example, how can stocks, think about this, how did stocks from 2008, think about this, American Express, do you know that was a $12 stock in 2000, we'll use 2009, a $12 stock. You know what it is today? It went up 1,725%. So now you got to pay per share $219. You really think American Express going up 1,725%, you really think that value is there? What, are you nuts? It's not. Those are called bubbles. Let's take FedEx. In 2008, FedEx was $43 a share. People were complaining, too high. Well, today, it's up 472%. You got to pay $246 a share instead of $43. What are you, nuts? This is insane. Procter & Gamble was $48. Well, if you want that stock today, they're telling you it's a bargain. You got to be willing to pay 229% more than what it was in 2009. It's $158 today, not $48. Now, 2009 is not that long ago. Most people can remember where they were in 2009. We're talking, what, 14, 15 years? Are you kidding? Microsoft. Wow. You know, Microsoft was $20 in 2009. I'm talking about after the crash, 2009. How the hell did it go up nearly 2,000%? How? So you got to pay, instead of $20 a share, you got to pay $415 a share. What, are you nuts? That's called inflation. How do we get there? Because remember what happened in 2009. Everything changed. The whole structure of our financial system changed. When the stock market crashed in 2009, remember, the banks always lead markets up and they lead markets down. And when the markets collapsed, and what drove them down was the banks, they were ready to be, the five biggest banks were insolvent. The five biggest banks were insolvent. Think about that. So what they do? So Congress, Wall Street, the crooks all get together and they come in and they say, what an opportunity, Jamie Dimon. How about we do this? Let's take, and you put together a group of people, Jamie, okay? And why don't you buy the Federal Reserve? You buy it. In other words, take control of it. Because remember, we're bailing you out. We're giving you $22 trillion to bail your banks out. You're broke. But here, you're going to be okay now. Here's $22 trillion. And now what we want you to do is go ahead and now that you're a healthy bank with our money, we want you to go and take over the Federal Reserve. You be the biggest shareholders and you call the shots. And here at Congress, we'll work with you because we want to be as wealthy as you because we want to do some inside trading. This is Pelosi and her group. This is how it all happened. Oh, and don't forget, who else? Dodd, Senator Dodd. Remember him? Dodd and Frank. But Senator Dodd got more kickbacks, took more bribes than any other congressman. You think what President Biden did was bad? He did nothing. He did nothing compared to what that guy did. Frank a little bit. But Dodd, he was right in the open. But anyways, the point is that how the hell would anybody think that you're going to pay 1,000, almost 2,000% more for Microsoft, and it's okay, and your stock's going to keep going up? When's the stock? That's how did they get like that? So it was easy when they finally took control of the Federal Reserve. Now remember, they own the banks, they control the banks, and remember these banks are busted. And what they didn't do, okay, they should have let these banks go down. They should have let these banks go down, and they let the best banks survive, take all the assets of all these banks and spread them out to the 8,000 other banks that didn't go down. Remember, you had the 5 biggest banks in this country went down. So now everything's changed. Who was running the deal? Who made the decisions where interest rates were going to be? The bankers. Wall Street, and they always benefit from interest rates going down. So you create bubbles. And if you don't believe me, look what we went over this week. Every time the market went to crash, even under Trump in 2018, it started to correct 20%, and then it was on its way to crash, and they rallied it back up 45%. March 2020, again, under Trump, market started to correct, down 30%. We sure thought it was going to go 50, 60%. Boom, they stopped it. They rallied 118%. Then comes in Biden. The market's correcting, 2022, down 25%. They interfered, stopped that one, rallied at 28%. October 2023, under Biden, went down 10%. We thought it was going to go down at least 40%. They rallied at 20%. So think about this. Every time the market corrected, which is the next step is to go into recession. And why are recessions good? Because recessions reset, take the craziness out. See, that's the problem. We've never had a recession that took out all this crazy stuff. Remember, you got to, if you keep letting your markets being controlled by the bankers who control the Federal Reserve, and you decide you're never going to have a recession again, so to bring the markets back down to earth, I mean, you don't think Microsoft needs to be back down to earth from $415 to $20? You think that's okay? You don't think you don't think American Express should be back down to earth? Are you kidding me? It used to trade $12. It's now $219. That's 1,725% more. So the biggest mistakes they made, and starting with Obama, he decided not to let these recessions set themselves up for a solid foundation for economic growth, for a recovery, and for a future. They didn't care.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members okay, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Be very careful for those who've been in like Meta, all the big tech stocks, NVIDIA, all the ones, Amazon, all the ones that gapped up. You better check when they start rallying again, like today, you better check the volume. go back 4 weeks and compare the volume today to 4 weeks ago. So in other words, take a period of 5 days, even bring it back 3 periods, okay, and compare the volume, because these are called bear traps. The problem with these big gaps ups and these big tech stocks like Meta and Nvidia is though they can come right back and grab you because of that breakaway. Now, the way you play these is you wait, let them start going sideways. Give you an example. Like when Meta was at 400. Remember, we got into Meta. We got into Meta around November 15th, I think it was, around $330. I got my gang in around 330, and then from 330 up to January 30th, 2024. So she went from, let's see, she went from about November 15th, $330, and then on, I think it was on February 1st, it was around 400, and then it gapped. Then it gapped up. It gapped up to let's see, it was, I want to get this right. I don't give you wrong information here. So Meta. Let's see. So the Meta was at, went from $393 on February 1, and then the next morning market opens, and it was up to 485. That's a hell of a gap up. That's a 23% gap. When you got something like, the first thing I said to everybody, sell into it. Sell into it. Take profits. Because when they gap up like that, it's a sign of exhaustion. It's a sign of they used all their ammo. That's it. They have no ammo left. So what you wait for is you wait for it to start going sideways so it gets into a channel, a consolidation. And it did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days it went sideways. So the low in the 6 days was 461, and the high was about 482. So it traded in that range for about 6 days. And then today we're watching the volume, and today the volume, yesterday and today, the volume started to pick up, and it broke out. But the volume's still not good. So you got to be very careful. You got to know what you're doing with these tech stocks that are gapping up, or any stock that gaps up. People lose money on these because they can back and fill on you. But the Meta turned out to be a good one. So we're talking about the craziness where the market is. The valuations are nuts. Like I told you yesterday, if you look at the valuations, let me just get my chart up here. If you look at the valuations, we had, from memory, our PE ratio is at 24. Now, if I do it adjusted for inflation, we're at 34, which means we're in worse shape now than in 1929. But let's use the 24. Now, if you take the 5 biggest markets in the world, Germany being one of the biggest one, and then of course you got China and France, all those 5-6 markets. We're the biggest bubble ever, because we're at 24. Everybody else is 16. China's 8. So let's say we take the 5 biggest country, average them out. We're at 24. We're going against maybe 12, 13. So it's nuts. If you don't think that's true, then I just told you earlier the American Express went up 1,725% since 2009. Microsoft went up about 2,000% since 2009, from $20 to $415. Nvidia went up, what was it? Nvidia went up 20,000%. So in 2015, you could have bought Nvidia for $4. Today, you're running to NVIDIA. You're going nuts, running there, trying to buy stock today at $819 a share. So you're paying 20,000% more than in 2015. And somebody who's buying at $819 thinks they're getting a bargain. Meta. And by the way, if you look at, was it NVIDIA? NVIDIA, remember, from 2000 and, or was that Meta? From 2015, it was at it was NVIDIA. 2015, remember, it went from 2000 to 2015, it was $1 to $4. It went sideways. So if you look at NVIDIA from 2000 to 2015, it was trading between $1 and $4. So from 2015 to today, 2024, 9 years later, it's up 20,000%? What are you, nuts? Meta in 2012 was $20. Today it's up 2,400%, $501. And people still believe there's not going to be a crash. Not going to be a crash. And as I said, if you really think about it, the market is having a real difficult time. It really is right now. I mean, just look at the volume and look at the numbers. Every day we're not seeing 300-point moves. So what's happening right now is that the corporate debt is on everyone's mind, which brings us to the banking debt on March 11th. And we'll go over that when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. These are volatile times in the stock market.
Market's up 200, then it's up 800, it's up 700.
How do you get the facts when investing?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. If you're confused about the stock market, get unconfused. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and listen to my radio show every weekday at 3 Eastern. What is the market going to do? We know exactly what the market's going to do.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
There's no need for you to be losing money.
Check it out, philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works. You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in a down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive. Costs thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro. Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. So, I'm just trying to get one of my charts here. Okay. So, if you think about it, by the way, I just sent out an alert to my gang members. I said I want them to start taking profits on NVIDIA. We're up 20,000% since 2015. So take some profits. Oh my God, unbelievable. So let's go behind this. Let's dig down into it. I mean, this is crazy stuff. And nobody thinks about it. And they think, the market will just keep going up. And I can't blame you for thinking that. I mean, you haven't been in this business 50 years. I get it. But the evidence is, again, every time remember, corrections are good things. Because when you correct, yes, it's painful, but they always used to have corrections. Always. Because you got to adjust. Or this is what happens. Things just go crazy. Inflation goes crazy. Your stock prices go crazy because of inflation. Insane. But they won't let us. They won't let us. Because remember, who owns the Federal Reserve? It's not independent anymore. It's owned by guys like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, the CEO of Citi. These guys decide when they want to rally and when they're going to pop the bubble. Now, I could care less. Because if you couldn't make money between 2009 and 2009 and 2022, or even between 2009 and February 2020, we had our first big rally. I think it was up 300% between 2009 and right before COVID. It was up about 325%, I believe, the S&P. And the NASDAQ was up about 610%, something like that. So I don't know how you couldn't have made money. Anybody could make money. And every time after that the market pulled back, they'd stop it. Boom. And boy, they weren't shy. I mean, if it came down 20% to correct, boom, back up 45%, right? March 2020 comes back 30%, boom, right up to 118% rally. October 2022 pulls back 24. We got to stop that right now. Bam, another 28% rally. October, 10%. We got to stop that. Boom, 20% rally. So if you couldn't make money in this market, I don't know. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. But this also warns you, you got to start looking forward, and you got to be prepared for the bubble to pop, because they're going to make that decision to pop the bubble. Here's why. Because remember, the banks have customers. And all of a sudden, they're not selling cars anymore. Banks losing money. People aren't buying trucks anymore, lose money. Not buying homes anymore, losing money. So they get so greedy. It's like the guy said, boy, I wish I had all the money in the world. Nobody had money except me. What good is that? But that's where we're getting in this economy right now, to that kind of point. You have, out of 8,000, let's use 5,000 stocks. Out of 5,000 stocks, we used to have 7 driving all 5,000. Now we only have really 3 out of the 7. So this is a very fine line between, and if everybody now, but everybody's so comfortable now, if it starts to correct, they don't care. They're just going to keep buying stock. Everybody buying on the dip. So let's get back to what the problem is now. So it comes along, right, in March of 2023, all of a sudden we have a real serious problem. The market is having banking problems. So we had the 3 largest banks go under. They set up the bank term funding program for the other 180 banks. That was a year ago. They got to pay now $150 billion back. They don't have it. Why? Because their customers owe $6 trillion to them, and there's about, I think, $1.5 trillion due in March. So the customers can't pay, people who have commercial real estate can't pay their banks. And remember, it's the regional banks that hold about 80% of these mortgages. So if you go back to, by 2001, remember, corporate bonds were at 7%. 7%. So if you adjust for inflation going back then, you can go back to 2001, and you adjust it for both earnings and interest rates, the S&P 500 stocks were selling for more than twice their underlying value. And when the crash hit in 2007, 2009, and Obama became president in 2009, Obama, Bernanke, Vice President Biden, they didn't want to go in a recession. Remember, everything's changed now. The banks are in charge of the Federal Reserve. The banks want to start making money immediately. So that's when they set interest rates to 0, and the banks started to shoot up from 2008. Like in 13 months, they went nuts. And the banks, they wouldn't help anybody who had a bad housing loan. What they did, they went and they started to buy all the assets of the small banks that were going down. And they were buying commodities. They were buying copper. They're buying gold. That's right. That's what happened. Remember 2008, 2009, when they got bailed out, they took that money and they lied. Remember they said, and we went to Congress and they said, we're going to help everybody. We're going to do these programs to help all the people who lost their homes. We're going to get your home back. That was all lies. It was all lies. And they were out there taking that money and buying copper and buying steel and buying commodities, and their stocks started to soar. So now what happened is when Obama started, he says, no. And all the banks said to him, hey, we put you in office. No, we're not going to go back again. No, we just took we own these banks. You bailed us out. We're not going to go through this again. Let's create a bubble. Let's do quantitative easing. We're in. Let's do it. Let's do it. And he said, well, what's quantitative easing? Obama didn't know what it was. It's profits, okay, prosperity without having to have profits or earnings. That's right. Japan tried it. It didn't work. It's not going to work here either. In fact, Bernanke, such a snake, he wrote a thesis and gave it to Greenspan. And he warned Greenspan. He was Greenspan's assistant. He was a young kid. And he did a thesis, gave it to him to show him, don't ever do QE. It doesn't work. It destroys the country. Look at Japan, how many years it took for Japan to come back. What 30 years? 1929, remember what happened in 1929 after the market crash? It took 25 years to go back to the peak. They were at 25. So we're at peak, it dropped, and it took 25 years to get back to that peak. Now, it had nothing to do with QE, but I'm just making a point. QE makes it worse. So Obama and the Biden administration drove the national debt from $9 trillion to $18 trillion. Here we go. There's where they started printing that $30 trillion. Trump, in 4 years, drove our debt $6 trillion to $24 trillion. Remember, Obama drove our debt from $9 trillion to $18 trillion. He doubled it because of QE. Then Trump, in 4 years, drove it $6 trillion to $24 trillion. And then Biden, in 4 years, drove it to $34 trillion. So that's a 277% increase in our debt. And you know how much of that was Trump's compared to Obama and Biden? I'll tell you when we get back. Join my gang, free for 10 days. Check.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande at philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out. philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Well, you don't have to ask that question when you listen to my radio show because you're going to know exactly what the market's going to do. You're going to know if the market's going to go up, you're going to know if the market's going to go down, or the market's not going to go anywhere.
Phil Grande and philsgang.com takes the worry out of investing.
Pay attention to my show, philsgang.com. It's fun, entertaining, and you get the greatest information, especially stock stock picks.
That's philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. So the idea is, can American Express, which is already up 1,725, or NVIDIA, already up 20,000% since 2015, not 2008. Meta, up, Meta is up, but I have Meta. Oh, I don't have Meta. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got Meta right here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, Meta, right. Up 2,700% since 2012. Yeah, okay, I got it. Meta is up, 2,700% since 2012. NVIDIA is up 20,000% since 2015. Microsoft is up 1,975% since 2008 or 2009. Procter & Gamble up 229% since 2009. FedEx 472%. American Express 1,725 since 2009. That's crazy. All right. So the mistake is this: what everybody's going to pay for it. That's what happened to the banks. Remember, the banks went under. These banks went under. So the point is, everybody's asking, what's going to happen on March 11th? Well, they're going to do one or two things. If they decide to roll the debt over, they're going to print probably, maybe $5 trillion. You remember COVID? They printed $10 trillion to move the market up 118%. So this is pretty serious come March 11th. You're going to have nearly 200 banks going bankrupt. So to stop that, they're going to have to roll the money back over. It has to say, no, that's right, we're going to do it one more year. If that happens, the same thing will happen. Inflation will go up again. The stock market will go up probably 30%. But so does an inflation. Remember, you always got to remember that. The way they get the market up by cheating instead of earnings, remember, it's not earnings driving the market. It's not productivity driving the market. It's money. They just print money, and the banks get the money, and they go and they buy stock. And a lot of the stock they buy for the Federal Reserve. And then the Federal Reserve takes it and puts it in their own reserve or on their own assets. So again, what may happen is they may decide to do the same thing they did when the market dropped February 2020 to March 2020, 30%. They would create a rally 118% by printing $10 trillion and put it back in. That's what they're going to probably do. So that also, remember, from 2020 March to January 2022, in that 118% rally, remember, inflation went up 9%. So that means if they decide to do that, inflation's going up again. So that means that your chicken, your meat, your vegetables, everything you buy, groceries, gasoline, all going up again. So think about that a minute. So if they decide to do that, when you go, your gasoline is going to jump up again. We're already up. Gasoline is already up, I think it's 38% since Biden took office. Rents are up 20%, but boy, rents are really starting to crank up again because people can't buy homes. They can't get mortgages. They can't buy homes. And because there's so little inventory, the only thing people can buy at a discount right now is cars, automobiles, because the inventory in automobiles went from like 840,000 on the car lots to like 1.3 or 1.7 million cars sitting there on the lot. That really tells you a lot. Think about it. Auto loans, okay, have increased that much. Now I'm pretty close to that number. I'm going through to see if I can find it. But auto loans are up. That's pretty. Yeah, I know the number 800. I think 834,000 cars, new cars, were sitting on lots around the country. New car lots. Okay. That was back in 2020, 2022. Now it's about 1.2 or 1.7 million. Can you imagine? So let's go to 1.2. Same wrong with 1.7. That's unbelievable. You know what that means? You know how many car dealers are start going under? That's unbelievable. So now the banks are funding, a lot of it, though, the new cars are funded by Chrysler or whoever it is, GM or Ford. So, but still, it's telling you how bad the economy is, telling you that people don't have any discretionary income. So if they turn around and they drive and they say, okay, we're going to go and put $4 trillion in, and the banks start collapsing, go down 20, 30%, they put, say, $4 trillion in to move the market up, let's say 40%, 50%, move the market up. Everybody's going to be excited. But remember, inflation is going to go up another 9%. See, that's why they're lying and say they took inflation from 9% down to 3%, which is the biggest lie ever, because they know what's going on. They need some room here. They can't say inflation's 18%. They can't tell you the truth, because that's where it would be if they come in and do what I think they're going to do. Now, if that happens, everybody's going to be happy the stock market's up, but Main Street is going to be suffering really bad. Now the economy's going to get worse. See, and that's the problem. The market keep going up and everybody can be happy, but at some point, the economy just stops. People can't afford anything. Everything goes down. The only thing that's saving this economy right now is the interest rates of 3%. That's what's saving the economy, interest rates of 3%. If we didn't have the average home right now has a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 3%. That's why there's no inventory. Because nobody's moving. But that's what can happen. So there's no good to any of this. It only leads to one place, a magnificent crash. When? I don't know. But it's going to happen. So that's where the mistakes has been. They won't do a recession. They went to the QE program. They knew it was a crooked program. It was illegal. You used to go to jail for doing it because it's prosperity without profits. Everything's fake. Companies paid from 0 to 1% interest on their debt for 15 years. The S&P stock 650. NASDAQ went up 1,200% because they're only paying 0 to 1% interest. But now that 0 to 1% interest is no longer. Now we have huge problems with corporations. They can't meet their payments because they're not paying 1% anymore. They're paying 7%. Instead of paying $2 million a year in interest, they're paying $12 million a year in interest. And we got a huge amount of deficiencies of people that are in deep trouble. So again, now you got to lay on top of that made inflation to a 40-year high, Bidenomics. The American COVID Rescue Plan, that's still with us. The Inflation Reduction Act, that's still with us. Our debt and deficits have screamed up. We have an inverted yield curve because of our deficits. We have an inverted yield curve. Earnings are declining. Our national debt keeps increasing. Our economy is stalled. Our growth, all because our debt and deficits are climbing. So the total number of companies that failed to make their interest payments in 2023 was up 153 companies. That was up 85% over 2022. So from 2022 to 2023, the corporations that couldn't make their line of credits, and this line of credits, increased 80%. 80%, the highest default rate since COVID. And even then, it wasn't even that high. The reason is because when you go from 0 or you go from 1% to 7%, these corporations are now running with negative cash flow on their high debt, and they have weak liquidity. Now you take the large share of commercial debt that's going to start expiring, not just this year, which is starting 24, but remember, out of that, I think it's 6 or 9 trillion. It starts now, 2024. Another big tranche is 2025, and then 2026. You know what it means to us as traders? We got great opportunity. If they're going to pump in 3 or 4 trillion to prop up the banks on March 11th, the market's going up 20, 30%, we're going to make a lot of money. If they don't and the market goes down, we're going to short it. As long as you're a gang member, you'll know how to short. Join my gang free for 10 days.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600.